Hi everyone, I'm back. Alright, so this is week 2. So let's see. We actually had Monday off because it was Martin Luther King Day. So I didn't have my mental health clinical. But I did have my clinical at Condell, which is my med-surg clinical. So it went well. I liked it. It was good. But it felt a little not guided well, I guess. That's how I felt. Like it wasn't guided too well, so I felt a little lost of what I needed to do. So when we got there, we huddled, we met with her instructor, and she basically gave us our assignment of what floor we're going to be and who our patient is, which was fine. And also who our nurse is that we will be getting a report from. So then she gave us that, and she's like, all right, go ahead. That was it. It was just like, go do you. I was a little nervous because I kind of expected her to take us each and kind of introduce us to the nurse and kind of let them know the expectations, and that wasn't it. So I eventually found my nurse. I introduced myself, and she was getting a report from the night shift nurse, and they were more than welcoming. They were so nice. I could have had a better first experience than what I had that day because it was great. She was very helpful and very ready to teach, which I really liked, even though she got a little stressed out with how things got eventually, but she was still ready to teach and kind of just show her ways and school ways also, which was really nice. What I found myself in this first clinical I had, was that I just kept following her and watching what she was doing. She was teaching me how to pass meds and kind of like patient interaction and all that fun stuff like that you need to know that you learned in class. And I didn't really get to just taking care of my patient. I was more following her around with all her patients, and that was not what was expected of us when we first got there. Technically, we were supposed to get a report from a nurse, go do our vital signs and a full assessment on our own patient, and that was only our priority. Give our patient meds or anything that they needed. Well, that didn't happen because I'm not a person who's very assertive about things that I need done. I am kind of just laid back and wait when I have a good opportunity just to ask. So that's the type of person I am, and I know it's something I need to work on, and I will work on it. Hopefully eventually I'll get good at it. But yeah, so that's kind of what happened. Eventually my instructor ended up finding me again, and she's like, all right, it's time for you to hang an IV. And I was just like, I know nothing about my patient yet. My nurse is still getting a report. I'm like, oh my gosh. So luckily my instructor ended up going to another of the students and actually having her do the stuff first, because I guess her patient's medication was due first. So I was like, whew, okay, it gives me time. And the nurse was like, oh no, oh my gosh, okay, I'll tell you about the patient. But then we got caught up in another patient room that just kind of took a lot of time, and I still didn't get report. And I was like, oh no, my teacher is back. And she's like, ah. I was like, you know what, it's fine, I can handle it. I'm just hanging a medication. I can quickly just hop on the computer and look it up. So then again, I got another lucky strike, and my instructor couldn't find a computer so we can like scan the patient and scan the medication. So it gave me a quick shot to like look up my patient and kind of just get like a background information of them real quickly, which wasn't too bad. So then eventually we went and gave the patient the medication, and it went well. That was pretty fun. I was very nervous to do it at first because I was like, oh no, I don't know how to do this. But like I learned it in lab, so I really shouldn't be nervous. And I was very surprised of how much I actually remember. I don't give myself enough credit of like how much I actually can do. I doubt myself a lot, which is another thing I have to work on. I have to be very, like, I know my stuff. I should be like that. But for right now, it's things to work on, and we'll see at the end of the year to see how well that has transitioned to. But otherwise, it was a good clinical round. Like first day, I guess, because I got to do a lot besides do an assessment, but I got to give injections, hang an IV, not start an IV, but like start a new line, because I guess we're not allowed to do IVs or start new IVs, I think. I also got to see my nurse start an IV, and I actually, this is like the weirdest thing, and I never experienced this, and now it kind of makes sense why nurses are like, oh yeah, they have like rolling veins or whatnot. And it was very interesting because as we were poking this patient, or as the nurse was poking the patient to put in a line, his his vein would just disappear, or basically like collapse, or just hide away, run away. I don't know. It was the weirdest thing ever, but it was cool to see. And it kind of just gave me a perspective that not everything's always easy. So yeah, and another thing that I liked about her is that she only tried twice and then she got somebody else. I really appreciated that, because sometimes I hear patients complain that a nurse has tried like 4 or 5 times, and it's like, well, if you don't get it by the second time, you probably should stop. So yeah, it was just nice that she was like, no, I don't want to do it anymore because I know I can't do it by the 3rd time. I'm gonna get somebody else, which is really great about her. Everything about this nurse that was assigned to me, or I was assigned to, she was very helpful, very to the book also, which I liked. Because you know, sometimes, like even when I'm as a PCT or when I was a scribe, there's some things that kind of done differently from what's from the book, and she pretty much followed the book very well, and I really enjoyed that. So my first clinical condyle was great. I learned so much, and I can't wait for next week to see how it goes. Yay! But yeah, but otherwise, exams haven't started yet. They should be starting in 2 weeks. So I believe by week 4 is when I have my first exam, or I guess like quizzes. But yeah, so you guys have a wonderful day. Please leave a comment, subscribe, and make sure you turn on the little bell notification so you know when my next video is. Alright, okay, bye!